live.
You ever know that your finger can just get stuck real far? I'll finish that story later.
Yeah. How's it going? Welcome to Take 3 Reactor Summit, where we talk about all things Schmoedown. There's no matches this week because there's no matches yet. But we do have a really exciting thing to talk about, and that's the draft, which took place a couple nights ago. If you don't want to be spoiled, just don't watch the video, and also stay off social media. And also, like, you probably have already been spoiled at this point. Yeah.
Live under a rock. Just get
pretty
under
much
the nearest rock and just stay there indefinitely.
Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, we're going to be talking spoilers. We're going to go over each team, all that. But we're not going to talk about, like, the actual ceremony because none of us watched it yet. We're also not going to talk about the words because we also haven't watched the awards yet. So we're just talking about factions. There you go. Draft talk. That's draft talk. Yeah, so it's going to be tons of fun. I'm looking forward to it. We got a great panel to talk about it. Of course, there's me, not included in the great panel. Just the regular panel. I'm just like the regular panel on the top row. But we have Malcolm Lay with his Jojo Rabbit poster positioned just so behind his head. How are you, Malcolm?
I'm doing pretty good. But yeah, it's just going to be a lot of fun talking about these picks.
Yeah, there's a ton to break down. So hopefully this episode will not be like 20 hours long. Also joining us, other regular to the summit, is Doug, not Paul Castle. How's it going?
It's good. I'm excited to talk about the draft. Some really weird picks that happen. Some picks that shouldn't have happened. Just saying, there's a few of them.
No, you're not wrong. There were a lot of surprises in this draft. Also joining us is Abe Flores Abraham. Good sir, Father Abraham. How's it going?
Kristen Smith. I just want to say I was a regular on the show like for 60 episodes and downgraded because I had a fucking class at the exact time you do this for 4 months, and now I'm back and I'm gonna be here every single episode.
Didn't you used to edit this show when there was some quality to it?
When we edited the show?
Yeah, but you know, Kristen was pregnant and stuff up.
And I was drinking while working at ShopRite. Oh, good times. Good times 50 episodes ago.
Yeah, and we actually have some control of the show. Like, people care about us, and then somebody leave, and, you know, kind of shit that happened.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm glad you're here, Abe, and not...
Yeah, kind of dark.
Yeah, last but not least, we've got Matt Kearns joining us for this amazing draft talk. Yeah. How are you, Matthew Kearns?
Hey, what's up, guys? It's Matt Kearns here, the coat that's coolest of all time. Hashtag coat thoughts, hashtag Kearns. How you guys doing today? I'm coming at you live from my bedroom. So we're talking today about the draft. Now, how the draft worked here is there were Schmoedown people. They made picks. There are teams. Okay, you know why? Because I'm the coat. That's why. Yeah. Imagine if I was. Oh, look at that. Yeah, because it's all about me here. You know, it's all about me. I bring in the numbers here, okay? It's not like I came in later than anyone else and am claiming to have all the reasons why a show is successful. No, it's all me, the coat. Also, maybe president of after shows? I don't know. Did we ever have a formal nomination for that? Because I got a fucking debate speech ready to go. And it's huge. It's going to be beautiful.
Amazing. Well... yeah, I don't have any words. Matt, is there?
I'm so sorry. Fuck my family. Just give me 1 second, guys. I apologize.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
We'll just.
Vin Diesel, what the hell are you doing here? Hey, Matt, it's me.
This is gonna take longer than expected, right?
I'm here with Kermit. Oh yeah, it's me. It's Kermit the Frog. Hey. Kermit, I thought you and Vinny were living in a broom closet in New York City somewhere. Matt, that's what we had to talk to you about. Vinny, he's gone missing. Now look, that little piece of shit stole my segment on the summit, but he's my family. He's your family. We need you to come and find him because you're like the guy who knows him best. You know what? That's really depressing how true that statement is. I don't really have money ever since Disney canceled my show, so Vinny's been my sole source of income. So yeah, let's go find him. Come on. I guess can I just finish the show? Look, you can finish the show, but Vinny might be dead in a ditch somewhere. It's really up to you. Oh shit, we also brought another friend. Hey, it's George Lucas. Matt, now look, poetry, it rhymes. Every stanza kind of rhymes with the last. So you know how Luke Skywalker went missing in The Force Awakens? Now Vinny's gone missing here. You know, that's poetry. It's rhyming. You know, George, I used to respect you a lot as a child, but you're a weird motherfucker. But I'll go with you in your flannel shirts anywhere. Just let me sign off here. Well, guys, if you heard that, because I kept my mic on the entire time, I had a private conversation with people that were definitely in my room. Sadly, it looks like I won't be continuing here anymore. I have to go on a perilous journey that could take months, nay, even years, to find a guy who used to live in my closet who never paid me rent. So I guess with that, I will say adieu, and I will one day finish the story of what happens when your finger goes up there and it just gets stuck. Goodbye.
That's why you have to use the right lubrication.
You're low.
Perfect. This was Matt's last summit. He decided that he wanted to do something, and I was like, why not? Do what you want. Yeah, but we obviously have really been happy to have Matt on the summit, and he'll contribute when he feels like it. But as a regular contributor, he's just not going to be a part of the summit team anymore. But yeah, we wish him all the best in everything else he's doing, and we'll see him. He's not leaving Take 3. We don't allow that. You're not allowed. So, but we do.
Sworn your life.
Yeah. But yeah, so
those were the 5 people in Take 3, right?
Yeah.
We're a great group.
Pretty much. So yeah, we're gonna talk about the draft. So this thing was crazy because it wasn't only like the one day after the awards, it was also the next day over Twitter, and it was just like refreshing the feed every 5 seconds to figure out if someone else was drafted. And my phone died like 5 times, and it was awful. Yeah. RIP my phone. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. It was the most immersed I think I have seen the Schmoedown fandom in a long time in discussion and live discussion, which was awesome to see. Just people talking live about something as it was happening without actually even seeing the video. So hopefully people aren't too mad about the spoilers, but I thought it was great. So I'm not too bummed out about it. We're going to talk about these teams, but first let's get over some general questions. So we're going to talk about the big surprises of the draft. What did you find most shocking? And we'll start with Malcolm. Was there anything that happened during the draft, anyone that got picked or where they got picked that was particularly surprising?
I mean, Robert Parker going as quick as he did was a really big surprise. But there's it's funny because it's really interesting that happened because and I hope he doesn't murder me for telling him this story, but he was actually staying at Kevin's house, and Kevin and Kaiser knew about at least a month before, so Kevin had kept that secret all up. And he said that like when his name was called out, he was just legitimately shocked, didn't really know what to say. But like for Kevin to keep that secret, like even with Robert staying in his house for over that weekend, is just crazy.
Yeah, and the fact that they had been planning this for a long time is just really cool, because Kevin really does want someone to help him partner through this inner geekdom because it's so competitive. You need a good study buddy, and there's no one better than like the person who beat you before in the fan league. Plus, so it's like a pilot fish situation, right? So like you got the big fish and then the little fish. Not that Robert's a little fish, but he's new to the Schmoedown. So you got Kevin, who's established. He knows what's going on. He's, in there. He's had his battles. He's got the belt. And then you got Rob, who's just coming in, who hasn't had that experience yet. And they'll get to benefit off of each other by, Rob helping Kevin study, but also Kevin kind of mentoring him in some of the back, behind the scenes stuff. So I think it's just an awesome pairing. And if Kaiser had waited to draft him with his next pick, I actually don't know that Rob would have been available. So I think that this was the only place they really could have drafted him, was at number 2. Yeah, I think he would have been gone in the 3rd round before Kaiser could have got him again.
Yeah, because I know Roxy had his eyes on him, and Roxy, like, once it went back round, Roxy would have been did lots. Yeah,
a lot of managers had their eye on him. It was a lot of the talk was like, what fan leaguers are coming in that I should keep my eye out on, and you would say Robert Parker, and they're like, no, I know, but who else? So they all knew. They were all like, yeah, we know. We all want him. So it was cool to see, actually. It happened so fast. But let's go to Doug. I know you have some thoughts.
James White, 2nd round. Robert Meyer Burnett, what are you thinking? That's the question. Because his first pick was Ethan, which you think at that point you want to pair him up with somebody. Not to say James is a bad player. I've seen him play before in the fan leagues, but you'd want to set him up with more of an established player. You think Janine's available, why not grab Janine and make Time Machine whole? It just made no sense that she fell so low, and we were picking out fan leaguers.
I mean, I don't really know what he was thinking when he did it. Maybe it was a mistake, and maybe he has a master plan. It's really hard to tell what his plan was there. I think that James is going to do really well in the Schmoedown. I don't think that saying it's a surprise that he was picked in the 2nd round is a bad thing, but also, it was a huge surprise. Like, it was awesome for him, but just a really big surprise because he got picked before quite a few really big names. And it was a little surprising to me. Malcolm, do you have anything you want to add to that?
I was going to say is, like, on that note, it depends on what each manager's sort of plans for their team is, because there are some managers which look like they want to try, like with use Kaiser example, and like with a lot of his picks, it looks like he wants to take a lot of players who may not have played or may not have played much, and want to try and do what he did with Paul, Kevin, and that, and build up some new superstar rookies that will just run roughshod in the team.
Yeah,
and I think Roxy was talking a little bit about hers on one of her live streams, and I think Roxy was saying that she was looking for people that she could actually help and maybe sort of build them up a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, my biggest surprise was definitely Kaiser's. Well, I have multiple ones, but Kaiser's team was such a huge surprise because you have some established players. Obviously, you've got Kevin Smets, you got Eric Zipper, you got Adam Witt. I think that Adam and Eric are a really fun dynamic. So I hope that they're a team, right? Is that?
I think there was a few people that confirmed 2's teams. I don't think some people didn't. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember, honestly, because there was just so much happening on Twitter at that time. But I think that they have a cool dynamic. So if that's the plan, I'm all for it. But yeah, the overall majority of his faction are all rookies, and or Brittany Young, who's been in the Schmoedown one time in a celebrity match. You have a very interesting dynamic. It's a very bold strategy. If it works, he's a genius.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it doesn't work,
he's still a genius.
He's Kaiser. At the end of the day, he'll still be Kaiser. So who really cares?
Yeah.
And then my second surprise, I can wait because let Abe go, and then I'll do a second one.
I thought you have forgotten me.
I would never forget you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Who's Jackass BC?
He's the
BC?
security.
BC.
No,
yeah.
BC. He is.
It's Ben Campbell, I think. That's his
Yeah,
actual name.
It's Ben Campbell. So he's a wrestler. He lives in Texas. Like he does like pro wrestling.
Oh, okay.
And he's been like backstage crew for the Schmoedown for pretty much every live event I think he's been to, except one where his flight was canceled, I think.
Yeah, that's what he said on FDM.
Yeah, and he is like the nicest guy. He's so nice. He gives really good hugs, and he's huge. So when you see him on Finstock's team, he's going to be just like ginormous next to everybody else, and it's very exciting. He's just really cool. He's been trying to kind of break out, I think, into the Schmoedown all of last season, and so it's cool that he's getting his chance. But I think mostly I'm excited about him getting a chance to do like promo work and character work, because he's used to doing that already for like his actual wrestling gigs. So I think he can bring like a really cool, professional wrestling vibe to this team of people who, well, besides the Barbarian, which we'll get to him. I think it'll be an interesting vibe. I'm really excited about the promos that are going to happen.
I'm just surprised about so many missed opportunities that happen.
Yeah.
One especially. At the round number 4, Burnett drafted Whitney, which probably would have gone into another team, right? But at that time, Achity was free. Why don't you keep the Paddington 2 together? Once you know they have a great dynamic, they're a team that they just need to keep the things going. Those are the missed opportunities. Like drafting Jared Haven, yeah, number 8. Who drafted him? Roxy.
Roxy, yeah.
Those are the players that you need to build as a manager, like someone that's experienced and that have the potential. I think we've seen Jared compete many times, and he's just that next step. I think he can compete in inner geekdom, he can compete in singles, and those are the missed opportunities. And I mean, there's surprises like Pevera coming back, JT.
Yeah.
Those I'm not sure what happened, like if they're coming back, and there's a ton of names I do not know. So I hope they have a great future in this one.
Yeah, JTE was a huge surprise, and I'm sure Malcolm has a piece to say about why he was a huge surprise.
Well, I mean, it was a huge surprise because, like, when I did the interview with JTE, like, back when I did that interview, he sort of said that there probably wasn't, we probably won't see him back, but whether or not he knew or not and just couldn't say anything, I don't know, but the other thing, one is, and I did plug to, Roxy, on her own live stream, she did talk about why she picked certain players. So she does talk about why she picked JTE. So I missed that little bit, but I'm probably going to go back and watch it at some stage. But yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the players and managers are talking behind the scenes about like their draft picks and stuff. There are so many channels now and so much content. It's really hard to kind of keep on top of it all. So if there are managers or players or whoever who've talked about like why they're picked or whatnot, and we don't mention it, feel free to put it in the comments. But yeah, my one of my biggest surprises was the well-rounded and kind of like powerhouse team that Koi put together. Because I actually did not think that he was going to walk away with one of the best factions. And he absolutely has one of the best factions. And he has 2 spots left. So he can easily fill those with some, people just hanging around. There's, Cinema Fanatics who didn't get drafted, who hopefully will have some matches coming up. There's plenty of rookies and plenty of seasoned players who weren't drafted. So he has a really great team. He got Bibbs and Brendan Meyer. He got Mark Knopik. He got Tim Franco and Haley Fouch, who are going to be a fantastic team. Greg
You're
Alba,
gonna be a team?
and John Humphrey. So we get our guys back in their great team. I'm super excited about that.
The only team that stayed together after the draft.
Yeah, it's what a hero Koi is, making sure they stay together. Like, what a hero. And of course he gets Joseph Scrimshaw, which I understand, like getting like Laura Kelly and Andrew DeMolanta picked up early because they are players who have been playing recently. But the fact that Joseph Scrimshaw was overlooked until the 7th round as a Star Wars player, as like one of the best Star Wars players, because he's gone after the belt multiple times. It's kind of crazy that he was left unpicked.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that it was a case of some managers didn't want to sort of overload on Star Wars players because there's not going to be a lot of matches, even though they are going to be worth more points.
Yeah, I mean, I think you need to have at least one on your team, and there's a couple factions I think that don't have any. So it's just it was an interesting choice, in my opinion, to pass over a seasoned Star Wars veteran. But
yeah,
Okay, I have a question for any of you. Maybe you have the answer. How are they gonna be able to keep every faction to have the same amount of games to be as fair as possible until the end?
I'm sure they'll have to plan it.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's going to be a case of I think everyone will get at least one match.
Yeah.
I think it's going to come down to sort of when it comes to the recording, like who's available when, and I think they'll try and balance that. I mean, like depending on whether the number of contenders and all that, there will probably be some matches that end up, some factions that end up with more matches than others. But I think points wise, like IG, IGs are worth more, which is probably why Kaiser went on IG sort of off the bat.
Yeah. Well, plus they're confirmed doing an IG tournament this year, so there's going to be probably twice as many matches this year as there were last year, at least twice as many with all the rookies coming into the IG. Plus, it's consistently the favorite league of the fan base. The majority of the fan base, their favorite league is the Intergeekdom League. And so them increasing the player base means they can get more matches, which means more points available, plus the tournaments. So there's going to be stuff going on for IG for sure.
Especially with some season players dipping their toes into IG, because I think Merle's confirmed he's going to IG. I don't know if he's. Yeah, I mean,
Kristen, I think you just broke a scoop that you shouldn't have to.
He's been talking about it. He's been talking about it forever.
Alex Damon.
Alex Damon is going IG.
It's confirmed. Yeah.
I don't know if Roka's confirmed, but he's been hinting he's going to, and I know him and Dan are study buddies. So Dan is studying for Intergeekdom as well. You know,
I think he's got his foot in Star Wars, not Intergeekdom yet, because he kept saying on backstage it's Star Wars. It's not.
I don't know about. I just don't.
I wouldn't hold it past him. He said it before.
Break the scoop. Break it.
I have no scoops. I have no scoops that I can break at this time.
Per the because I didn't get to say anything, but per the match thing that we talked about, he actually talked about it on backstage with Ben Goddard and RB3. You're gonna have one match. If you lose your first match, you're not gonna have a match for a while.
Yeah,
that's what it is. It's got to be entertaining, but it's also got to. He's gonna do it as fair as he can. That's why I like backstage a lot, because we get a lot of stuff that they don't say right now. I'm excited. I think I'm right in the boats with you guys. It's gonna be crazy this year, because think about it. We're gonna have teams tournament. We're gonna have singles tournament. We're gonna have Intergeekdom tournament. I wouldn't put it past them this year to even do a Star Wars tournament.
There's a lot of new players.
There's a lot of players.
Yeah. There are a lot of new players, and you're going to have to get some of them kind of weeded out to get to. There has to be at least 2 belt matches for Star Wars this year, because they're going to have to do one for Celebration, which is kind of middle of the year, and then they're going to have to do one at Spectacular. So they have to have a way. I would love to have a Star Wars tournament early in the season.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe do it like March.
Quarters.
Like March.
Yeah. first 2 quarters, you can do the finals at Celebration, like they did the match at Celebration, the 5-way, or was it 5?
Yeah, it was 5-way.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, how many people were in that, thing? Yeah, so they did that at Celebration. They could do a finals match at Celebration for the tournament, and then the next day at the live event, have the actual belt match.
They are gonna do it, right? Celebration is at
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
gonna
doing
be-
a live event, and I'm sure they'll try and get in again for a panel. It was a huge hit. I can't imagine that the event is going to say no.
Roxy was so smart with that 3rd round pick. I know that she was eyeing Robert, but he's got guaranteed 2 live events already.
Yeah.
He's got the one in Orlando, or not Orlando.
He's got Atlanta and also probably Star Wars Celebration. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you talk about how bad the Texans lost last night?
No.
Well, I mean, the
Is
other
that
thing,
a Schmoedown thing?
No, it's
Texas.
I mean, the other thing with Alex is he's the only champion that literally had no manager, so he could be like anyone.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that actually slightly surprised me that Robin Bennett didn't sort of jump on him because he's a champion.
Oh,
So,
another person who's going to think about doing IG this year is Paul Oyama. He's been talking about putting his hat in the ring for that too. So sorry, full circle back to that.
Yeah, no. I mean, Paul be great in IG because he's played in Multiplex's fandom, which is basically IG. So,
yeah, I mean, I'm into it. I think it's a great idea. I think Paul has the knowledge base to be a great 3-leaguer, and there's not a lot of them. There's more this year than there have been ever before, but be interesting to see.
Talking about former singles champion Paul Oyama, you think it's like done deal that his partner is gonna be Lon Harris for the next?
I think it's a good fit, but I thought that I have all the images. I gotta find the right one.
I mean, I can tell you your team is Chandru, which probably it's Makuga, Lee Shannon Miller, Adam Halavak, who I think can be a really good partner. I don't know if you guys remember Superhero News. You young guys watching.
Yeah.
He is really good in regular movie trivia. And Demi, he's a singles player, is really nice. So I think Lon and Paul are the team.
Yeah, I think Lon and Paul are easily a great team. The harder team to pick who you want would be who you're pairing up with Josh Makuga.
Oh, I don't
Is
think
it
he pairs him with
RB3?
anybody. I don't think he pairs him with anybody.
I hope they do. He's hilarious. I want RB3 and Ace because
that's what I want.
Then you can have them partnering up and you can just call their team their podcast name, which for some reason, even though I listen to their podcast,
The meaning of?
Yeah, they can just be the meaning of team. My brain is not functional today.
I mean, I really want to see Josh McCoo. I really want to see a team with Josh McCoo and Tom.
Well, we're not going to get that because
we're going to get the team that I predicted.
Kate the Great put together an amazing team with Paul Preston and Tom. Amazing.
Her team is incredible. She's the team that I got taking it.
Yeah, she's got a great B team because I personally think she should pair Rachel with Ben Goddard, and I am shocked that Ben Goddard went so late because I think people are not giving him his due here. I sat next to him for some of these matches. It's spectacular. He knows his stuff. He really does, and he's maybe a little cocky for someone who's never had a match, but he knows his stuff. And I think that he's got a good head on his shoulders in terms of being involved in these shows already. So the lights shouldn't technically get to him as much because he's in them every single day, basically. I think Rachel and Ben could be a really great team as a B team.
Yeah. but to sort of flip the question about people who were surprised got picked, is anyone that you were surprised weren't picked in the free agents at the moment?
There's a lot of free agents. I think Cinema Fanatics were really like my biggest shock that like just no one picked them up, honestly, because you know, they're pretty involved, and there's some really huge unknowns that were picked up, and they're more. I mean, one of them has had a match, and they're reactors, so you can kind of figure out like how much they know really easily. So it's weird to me that there's so many up in the air players who we have no idea how they're going to play, and two basically surefire things who are just in the ether, you know?
Yeah, I mean, out of the established ones that weren't picked, Late to the Party is in the same vein as Cinema Fanatics. I'm surprised that they weren't picked.
Yeah, I think this might be a sign that they're stepping back a little bit from Schmoedown, but I could be wrong.
I mean, I think as free agents, there's still a chance they'll get a match to sort of prove that for someone to pick them up.
Yeah.
But I mean, Scott Mans is left on the table, which
I'm not surprised at that.
I don't think he's gonna play any matches unless there's another wheel slice match for movie release. Yeah, unless there's another movie release dates battle, I think that's kind of the only thing he's gonna do.
Well, I mean, I was a little bit surprised. I mean, especially for teams, because I think a team of Scott Metz and Josh McCougar could be fun and loud.
I don't know if I could watch that match.
All you need to make this even better is for them to be managed by Robert Meyer Burnett.
No.
And then what the Schmoedown should do, they should make that happen. And then they should be like, hey, earplug companies, have we got a proposition for you guys for you to make some money? And hey, you guys got a sponsor. You're welcome. I'm thinking about you guys all the time.
Also, our good friend Chris Clark's probably got mixed reactions about this draft.
Oh yeah, I can't imagine why. I mean, I think he's probably happy enough in terms of the fact that Whitney is with Robert Meyer Burnett, the fact that Bibbs isn't there as well. I'm sure he's not happy about. But yeah, Whitney. I think Whitney would be great with Video Drew. I think that's such a weird team. I think he's probably going to end up being with someone else, but I think Whitney and Video Drew is such a weird team, and I need it.
I honestly, I think Video Drew, and Ethan, and Whitney and Alonso. I think those are two more interesting pairings for me.
I mean, yeah, I think in terms of play style, you need out of those four players, I think Video Drew is actually the one who understands the game the best.
Yes.
Which is why pairing her with Ethan would actually be better. Because Ethan is fine at the game, but he's not like, you know, he doesn't study the gameplay, and Alonso definitely doesn't. And Whitney was always Bibbs's B player in terms of gameplay. So let's just talk about the factions, because I want to break them down a little bit. So if you want to share, we're talking about the Burning Juries already. We might as well just go ahead. You can share the image. So yeah, this faction is the most. I have many words. They all can't come out at once. It's a team full of B players, and that's not mean. It's just every team needs a B player. He has a team full of B players. They're good at the trivia. They don't know the gameplay. I don't know about some of these rookies. He's got, 3 rookies who we have no idea how they're going to get. And
doesn't he have 4?
James,
4 rookies.
Yeah, but I know what he's going to be like, and he knows the game. That's the thing. For me personally, if you're going to make teams, you need to put Video Drew with someone who doesn't know the gameplay as well. So an Alonso Video Drew team would be great. A Whitney Video Drew team would be great.
That's an interesting team. Both those teams are interesting teams.
I know, right? And this is going to be really I'm sure people are going to hate this idea, but maybe the reason that Robert Meyer Burnett drafted James so early was so that he could get someone who knew the gameplay to be with Ethan Irwin.
Question:
Yeah.
is James is gonna be a singles player, right?
He'll be singles and teams.
He
I think.
could be teams, yeah.
Okay, so
I think
he's
he went in
singles,
as singles, but I think easily could do both.
So
yeah,
sorry, Malcolm. God.
I was about to say, I think everyone potentially could be in teams.
Yeah,
I mean,
except
whether or not they'll
Except for
go in
Warfather.
teams.
yeah.
I mean,
We don't know.
yeah, we
listen,
don't really.
The more
I don't want
Warfather,
Warfather on a
better.
team. I agree, but I don't want him on teams. I want him to go in there and just dominate. That's the only reason I'm voting for the Burning Drugs right now, because I want him to push forward Warfather so I can get more banter between him and Mark Ellis. It's the best.
Yeah, the more Warfather, the better. Any way I can get it, I honestly just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, Malcolm, go ahead.
Also, I have to say, if Warfather does go into teams, an interesting team up will be Warfather and Video Drew.
Oh God, you just want to watch the world burn. You just want to watch the world burn. Listen, my problem with the James White and Ethan Erlin is that Ethan doesn't study. Doesn't. He goes in with raw knowledge, and if he has a weakness, they've already executed it.
Yeah.
And that's why Ethan isn't as dangerous as he used to be.
Ethan's
and
only weakness is animation.
It's not his only weakness. It's not his only weakness.
Here's the thing, and here's the reason why I think James would be an excellent pairing for Ethan Irwin. James is willing to put in the hours to study. He's also got a good background in animation, I think. I think he could do well there. I think there's some other categories that James could pick up some of the slack with Ethan, besides the fact that James knows the game and is a fan of the game first before he's a competitor. I think that it could be a really good pairing. However, I think that it would be a little weird to put an untested rookie with someone who's like in the top 10 of Schmoedown.
Yeah.
It is Robert Meyer Burnett, though. So,
I mean,
this is true.
Yeah, I mean, like with James, I know he hasn't really had a match in a Schmoedown. Like he's played in the fan leagues, so he's like a little bit tested in that sense. So I mean, you're right. He does know his animation a lot, even if he doesn't remember that you never saw Man and Bambi.
Hey, you know what? You hear him, and that's, I guess, close enough. Is there anything else we wanted to talk about with the Burning Drugs? Abe, did you have any? You know, I'm not sure actually. There was a couple of these people that I have no idea who they are.
No clue.
You know who can be Justin Kroll, if I'm not mistaken. He's a critic where
he is.
I think he maybe know Whitney and Alonso most than likely. Probably all these people have known each other for years.
Yeah.
And probably have friendships. So probably those teams that can work. I know.
Yeah.
So I just want to mention it. And I'm gonna go Josh Quevedo and Jenna Bush.
Jenna, I believe, is in the film space as well. I think she's in her geekdom. Am I wrong?
I know who she is. She's great. She has been on Movie Talk several times.
Yeah. Am I wrong thinking she's going in her geekdom?
No, I don't think she's in her geekdom. But yeah, I know who she is. She's great. I love her in Movie Talk.
Okay.
She's dead.
Well, I'm wrong. It's fine. I'm wrong a lot of the time. It is the joys of being the host of the summit. So we can talk about the best team, the best faction.
Listen, I like that statement, but not that much. Let's be honest. Who's got the best faction here?
Just to mention, I think Josh Quevedo is gonna be a Star Wars player. He has a picture on Twitter with Sam Witwer. So.
Well, I mean, you know, Sam Witwer's a cool guy. He could be anybody.
He could like him for being human. I mean, that was a series.
But his Twitter bio is Soy un Jedi Última, which is in Spanish I cannot pronounce.
Well,
I'm the last Jedi.
That's cool. That's a cool new player for Star Wars potentially.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
but the best faction.
Yeah.
The best faction. The Finch Stock Exchange. My boy. Bobby Gucci put together quite a faction. So Yeah, besides the 4 that we knew were going to happen, you have
Oh, you need Roka, the 4th pick?
It had to happen.
I am on Roka's boat right now. He should have been the 2nd overall pick.
I think Dan should have been overall number 1,
first,
then you have to put John next because you're drafting the team.
Exactly.
See, that's the thing. If you're drafting in order of valuable players, Ben is the current singles champion, and so that's got its own merit.
I'm only mad because they messed up my draft prediction.
Why does it matter? I mean,
it doesn't really matter.
It's a big measuring contest. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't really matter. It's just you kind of put them in succession order. It's like John Roca isn't a 4th round pick.
Yeah, but one of them are gonna be on there. So it's just
I
don't understand it.
Well, I mean, the way I said, like, I mean, I've like Roka and Ben and all that had it sat down and sort of got back on the right terms. But I mean, the way I said, like, Ben's got the singles belts, and I think that should, like, there'll probably be a lot of shit not taking the singles champion over the team's champion.
Yeah, I don't know.
I hear that, but everybody else had the founding fathers going first. Like it wasn't like it was some big shocker. A lot of people had the founding fathers going first in his thing. So it wasn't anything like that. It was just more like paying respect. They defended the belt where Ben has just won the belt. It's a little bit more different. So that's why I was.
Plus, Dan was literally the number 1 player of the year, voted by fans, the number 1 player of last year, and pretty much every year he is the GOAT of the Schmoedown. So it is a little weird to have Dan not be drafted first. I think that's more like what John is getting at is their team should have had priority in terms of just the star power of the 2 of them. They have the belt, plus Dan could easily have every belt if he really wanted to. It's just a thing.
Danny 3 belts? We talking this year? Danny 3 belts? I mean, it's possible.
It could happen.
It's very possible.
But I do want to say this faction, the thing that this faction has that a lot of these other factions don't have is a lot of them have a good A team with really strong players and a potential good like B team that has potential to be pretty good, maybe even really good, but maybe is untested, maybe doesn't have that push yet to be in the top tier teams. This faction has 2 top tier teams with the potential for a 3rd really great team. You've got Grey Drake. She's been in the game for quite a while. She knows her trivia. She's proven again and again that she can hang in there. There's been some weird things when they got too into their characters.
Yeah, as long as she don't get too into her character, she's one of the top tier players. Like when it comes down to it.
My only thing is, who do you pair her with? Because the Barbarian, I don't know what he's going to play like.
Ethan Irwin knows what he's going to play like.
Actually, Kristen, I just want to say you will be a fan of the Barbarian, considering he is.
I'm sure I will.
He's fan of Detroit, which I think.
Oh well, there you go. No, I mean, Christian talked about him on SEN Live today about how funny he is and how excited he is for people to see him play and how perfect a pairing he is with Bobby Gucci. I'm excited to see it. I hope he is really good, because if he could be a good pairing with Grey Drake, you have just a super dominant faction with 3 teams who could easily dominate the pack. And one of the best Star Wars players around, and potentially some really great IG players if Emily Rose Jacobson can kind of get into the gameplay a little bit more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's one of those ones like with the big stack, like big 4, like Dan, Riley, Ben, and John. They're probably going to help sort of hone their like some of the lower ones, because the amount of stuff they could do to help Cody get better could be really, and Cody could prove to be a really dominant force.
I
All right.
honestly think that Cody didn't want to be drafted, and then when he was just like, "What?"
I get that, but Cody knows stuff. Like let's not be mistaken.
Let's all remember the Jurassic
he won against Lon.
He didn't.
Or no, he didn't.
He
win
didn't.
against
He
Lon.
was very close.
He got close against Lon.
He got the perfect game, and Lon didn't.
That's right. That's what I remember. But like, same thing with Jackass. We don't know BC. We don't know what he's gonna know. Listen, I read it from name. I didn't mean it like that.
Same with our good boy Ben.
But here's the thing. What do they have that no other team has?
They got Bobby Gucci.
No, they have Ben Bateman. I love Gucci, and he is a terrific manager. But they have Ben Bateman. Ben Bateman is a scholar of this game.
He knows the league better than anybody.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Ben has been making a lot of moves.
A lot of moves that should not have been made, and I'm glad that it didn't get made.
But, does anyone think this faction can explode like at the middle of the season?
Oh, this while it is if you put it down on paper, this is the strongest faction. It has two of the best teams in the league, one of them with the belts. It's got the person with the singles belt currently on it. It's got a guy who could easily have the Star Wars belt on it. You have someone who had a really great debut in Enter Geekdom who just needs a little bit more push on the gameplay. She could be in it. You have Gray Drake, who's been a longtime player. She's in it. Cody Hall knows the game, knows the trivia. If he can get focused, he could be a great player. Apparently, the Barbarian is amazing. And BC, I actually have no idea what he's going to be like in the Schmoedown.
So
he could be
like
amazing. Yeah, he's a super wild card because I think he could be amazing, but he could also just like be a great support character as well. Like I actually have no idea what he's going to be like. This faction could be the faction that wins with like no one gets points for the whole season because they win everything, or it could explode in 2 months.
So what if this is their new stick? The Barbarian and BC are literally just their muscle. They walk around with them the entire time. That's it. They don't play any trivia. They're literally just the muscle.
No, I
know.
well,
They're gonna play trivia, but it'd be
really
hilarious.
funny. I don't think that's gonna happen. I do think it's really funny, but I think this is the most volatile. You have so many alphas on this stinking team. I mean, it could implode. Easily could implode. I hope it doesn't, because I like a lot of the dynamics here. I like that there's a lot of mentorship opportunities here. But yeah, this team. I
count 8 of them. I count 8 alphas. 8.
This faction is man. It's going to be something. I cannot wait. I think this is going to be one of the most entertaining factions of them all. We're going to move on. The dungeon, the other most entertaining faction. We already talked a bit about the dungeon in terms of the wild card. If there's a sure thing in the Schmoedown in terms of the Finstock exchange, the wild card of this year is definitely the dungeon. I mean, Kevin Smets is going to be great. Eric Zipper, he's a great 3-leaguer. Adam Witt didn't have a huge chance to shine last year outside of teams. The rest of these people, outside of Rob, who we all know is going to be fantastic, who the heck knows how these guys are going to go? We already talked about this quite a bit earlier, so if there's any thoughts you have outside of what we talked about, feel free to share them.
Well, everybody's saying this is the weakest of all. And I happen to agree with him because we don't look Robert
on paper.
We all know some people. Yeah, we all know Robert is great, but you never know what's gonna happen under those lights. And I honestly I no disrespect to Robert because I know he's amazing and he's nice, but I don't think picking him in the second round was a good choice because I think if you see Roxy was trying to get him right, that's the whole idea. If I told you, I give you Robert Parker and Alex Damon, who do you pick? You pick Damon, no question. For me, that it's because you have someone that has been proven beyond the Schmoedown for 3 times, and I think he could select a better player in the second round because he just has like that we know. He just has Zipper and Adam Witt. That's it.
I mean, for singles
And,
teams.
and a ton of potential. The potential is there. There's no question.
Yeah.
But I still think like if this is a general manager of a football team, I will be disappointed as a
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely
fan.
correct. On paper, this is definitely the weakest faction, but it also has the biggest risk reward of any faction because you're putting so many unknowns in there. You literally do not know which of these people is the next superstar. Any of them could be. They all could be. And he all of a sudden moves from being, oh, what a joke, to holy shit, this guy has, the singles player of the year all of a sudden. He's got Intergeekdom player of the year all of a sudden. He's got everything. That's
okay. So we can go over the names that we don't know. Vinny Mancuso, he works for Collider. Continue, Marco.
yes. Malcolm, what you got?
Well, on that note, Robert going in as early as he did, it makes sense for Kaiser because if they had planned it out for a month and they knew that they wanted Rob, then it makes sense because Rob and Kevin have been trading back and forth, helping each other train for their respective matches in the fan leagues or in the Schmoedown. So I mean, and it's one that Rob and Kevin are big friends, and it's one of those ones, and I think. Partially, I think Robert might have been a slight Kevin hinting at Kaiser going, get Robert first, and
I'm
also
sure he did.
Also, the fact that IG's worth more makes a lot of sense to try and get some really people who know who are probably going to win a lot and do really well in IG.
Yeah. What about you, Doug? Anything else you want to comment on this one?
Not really. I mean, everybody talked about everything except for the Damon and Parker. I'd actually take Parker. Parker's got more opportunity and more matches.
Parker too. Star Wars just doesn't have enough matches, especially if you're the belt holder.
And we don't
have 2 matches a year if you keep the belt.
I think it's because we all know Robert.
Well, no. Even if that was the case, I was a huge Schmoedown fan before I was a part of the fan leagues. I would have went and researched Robert.
Yeah,
to watch what he does is incredible. Who
gives you the proof that he can do it under the lights?
Listen to the kid talk. He literally does stand up and
he's been
magic.
He's been doing some of this stuff to help prepare for when he does have to go in and play a match.
Although SCN today,
oh god,
they were. Oh my god, I can't wait for the promos to be cut with everybody so that way we can hear what everybody's going to say and Robert's comebacks. I get what you're saying, but even if you take in Damon's Intergeekdom stuff, he's just about as unknown as Parker is at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, for Intergeekdom, he could be awful at Intergeekdom. We don't know. He's got Star Wars. We know that for sure, but we don't know what else he has. So he's an unknown for Intergeekdom as well. But let's move on. We also talked about this team quite a bit because it was surprisingly very good. If anyone else has anything they want to comment on, Koi was also really smart in getting early points because Mara is guaranteed basically the first match of the season. So it's very smart to get her on your league just to get out of the gate going, you know? And it's going to be a high-scoring match, given that it's a title match, unless it's a blowout. Because, as we've seen in Spectacular, just because it's a title match doesn't mean there's going to be a lot of points. Anyone else has anything they want to say about the mouth?
I mean, do you guys have team predictions? What do you think that their teams might pick up?
Tim and Haley are confirmed.
They are confirmed?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Greg and John are confirmed.
Great team. Those two are going to be. I'm really hoping that Real Rejects come back with because John was I was waiting for him to go on a singles run after what he did, on the first free for all. I was waiting. I was like, "Where you at, John?"
Yeah,
I'm excited he's back.
But yeah, anyway, my internet cut out briefly, so I didn't get a chance to throw in something I was going to throw in about the last team.
Feel free.
But Adam Ritt said on a post that he is interested in getting into the Star Wars division, so that could be Kaiser's Star Wars pick as well. So
yeah, that's true. I like Adam Witt. He's a nice guy. I hope he does well this year. There's a lot of good teams on this one. Map.
Oh yeah, this one's good. There's not much more that I can say about this that I haven't actually said before. But taking Mara with a guaranteed title shot was smart. And Coy said on one of his live streams that he's got an idea for a 9th. He said he might keep the 10th just free. But he said he's got some people he's been looking at for the other 2 spots. So.
Nice.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Do you guys think anyone will have guessed that of the teams formed in 2016, the thing that would have stick together would have been the real rejects?
No. I think that there are a couple. I think there are a couple I thought would have stayed together, but here we are.
No team has lost more than them. It sounds terrible.
Hey, stop being mean to the real rejects.
No, but that's the thing, that it's incredible that they stick together, and it's great because I love seeing them.
They're fantastic.
We're not talking about the other team that stuck together. The team that took a legendary run with the team belts. The Patriots.
Yeah, but I don't think
they didn't stick together.
They're on the same faction.
The odd couple is a team. The Patriots are not.
I don't think the rules allow you to break out the teams that are safe.
Nothing was said about that. You only had to draft them together.
Once they're in the faction, I don't know if you can break them apart or not.
Yeah. Oh, I know, but that will be.
I don't think Roxy will break the odd couple unless they start losing a lot and she decides like, well, you've lost your stuff, whatever you've got that your mojo. So I might need to switch you guys around, and it's going to depend on how often JTE is going to play as well. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, because we actually have no idea how often we're going to be seeing JTE. So
I like to call him Jete.
Jeta. Rock stars. I like. Since we're talking about JTE anyway, good timing. I actually really like her team. I think she got exactly who she wanted to get. Obviously she got the odd couple. She wanted to keep them. I think she was gunning for Robert Parker for her 3rd slot, but she got Alex Damon. I don't think she's upset about that. She got the sassiest Stacey Howard. She got JTE. She got Jared Habon, who I think is a great pick. Adam Gertler, I'm excited to see coming back. I thought he was great when he was playing originally. Glad he's coming back. The dance, yeah.
Do you think he'll actually say a word this time?
No.
Or will he be the silent person again?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they're going to keep characters because some of these people, their characters are a little more in depth, and it's easier to. Some people can play in character, and some people can't. So when the character is really intense, like Adam Gertler's character was quiet, but you have to like play that up to an extent. It's not always the easiest thing to stay in character and play a match. Like Andrew Guy does it really well. Tom does it really well.
Tom.
Jesus, Tom. We'll get to Tom. I love this. I love this faction. I think it's one of the strongest ones for sure. Some untested people in terms of we haven't seen them play in a while.
I think this is one of those that have players that have played before. All of them
all of them have had a match,
and all of them have potential. I think everybody was thinking 2 seasons ago that Bevera was going to be the single champion because we saw.
Yeah.
Christian has said it, like he has no interest in the game like a lot. He just doesn't study it, doesn't watch.
No, he doesn't know the game.
That's the thing. But I think if he gets paired up with any of the players in the faction, for one of these Stacey or Jete or David or whatever, I think there's potential. I agree. I will have drafted Eric Goldman, who's his former teammate. If they're gonna form a team, I will have kept them together.
That's cool. I mean, I don't know that Goldman was up for grabs, was
He
he?
was.
Okay.
Yeah, I think from what I heard is unless they have retired, I think anyone who's ever played was on that draft sheet.
Well, there was a separate sheet that was given out available picks. And it was given out to the managers. Like, here's your short list of people you can pick, basically. Because some people aren't interested in playing anymore, like if they just don't want to play, like, please don't draft Sam Whitwer. He doesn't have time to play in the Schmoedown anymore. Even though he's awesome, it would be great, but he's just not interested in you anymore. I'm sorry. He just wants to be friends.
Think of how much the crowd would have erupted if someone had drafted Sam Whitmore, which would have revealed that he's got plans to come back.
Even though he legitimately just said in like very clear terms,
he said
apparently offended a bunch of people.
He said it in super clear terms. Like, there was no coding of "we'll still be friends." There was like, no, this is cut. I'm busy.
I mean, no, he just said, I'm busy and it's not appropriate for me to be involved in making Star Wars and being in a Star Wars trivia thing. I don't see a problem with that. We can talk about that controversy another day. Because I legit did not see his comments as rude, but whatever. Yeah, I love this. I love this faction. It's great.
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's a good faction, and I think
faction.
And it's a good faction. I think it, like as an interesting second team, I think Adam Gertler and Alberto Del Rio could make it. I mean, David Del Rio
Who's Alberto?
could make it an interesting team.
It's his cousin.
I love Alberto.
No, there's a WB wrestler called Alberto Del Rio. Every time I see his last name Del Rio, my mind always goes to Alberto.
I like that. I think it's a cool team. Stacy needs a teammate. I think her and JTE would be funny.
I was just about to say that, but I don't think you stick her with JTE. I think you stick her with maybe somebody like Jim.
That's a team I think can work, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because they're two different level of knowledge, like different sides of the spectrum. I bet you, with all respect to Stacy, she doesn't know shit about Stallone and.
No, she.
I mean, I don't.
When we did our interview with Stacy, like 2 years ago, she said that because she grew up with brothers, she watched a lot of like action movies.
Okay,
growing up.
Then I'm dumb. But you know, I think they're two different. I think the woman and man team pair up. Because whatever you want to say, like man and woman have different interests in film.
It's accurate.
Like I can tell you a ton of shit about telenovelas. I'm gonna tell you that, and I'm a man. And rom-coms.
Too bad there's no telenovela Schmoedown.
But I know a ton of these because I grew up with two sisters and a mom that watched a ton of shit, so that influenced me.
No, you can go. What else?
I was gonna say, I actually think if you pair Stacy with Jim, you have a solid person that knows the game and can maybe focus Jim a little bit more.
Stacy is one of the most aggressive players.
Oh, she is.
She is, but she still knows the game.
Snyder, next to Jeff Snyder, like those two are like I don't know what to call them.
Yeah,
they're bulldogs.
So we're gonna talk about the usual suspects. We're gonna talk about Sam. No surprise. He got Drew McWeeny. I think everyone was like, he's getting Drew McWeeny. There's no surprise. I think his team is very much like, I like these people. These people are my friends. I would like to draft them onto my faction. Because when you look at it, you're like, okay, well, who's the second team? Janine and...
Ashley?
Oh.
I know.
He does need a seasoned player as his partner.
And not only that,
I think Levine as a manager is the best thing that can happen to Matt actually. As someone that has been a fan from actually since the tournament in 2015 with Rotten Tomatoes.
I think any manager is...
except for RMB?
Yeah. Actually is one of the best players to play in the team division.
Oh, absolutely.
his teams always perform well. It just
even though he doesn't know shit about the game.
It just needs that push, and I think that push can be given by Janine and Sam. And Sam
Yeah.
dropped, and just to comment so you guys can talk, because I have a ton of shit to say. With Sam as McQueenie, if McQueen is in the corner of if Sam is in the corner of every McQueenie's match, I think you have the next singles champion right here.
Okay.
Because the only thing I think falters McQueenie is that he doesn't know when to ask for repetition, and he doesn't guess. That's the as someone that follows him every single game he plays, that's the only thing. He doesn't guess, and he doesn't repeat when it's needed. That's the only follow McQueen. Other than that, he's a great player.
Yeah.
So the great thing on top of Sam is you get that bonus advisor that no one's talking about because she was on stage hugging Janine, and Rachel said to Janine, "I'm getting you that belt."
Oh yeah, no, Rachel is definitely advising this faction, 100%. And that is the biggest wild card with this faction, is that you have some really great players on here. You also have Rachel Cushing in your corner, and no matter what, what it actually goes like in terms of filming, having her there to help prepare and study and all that, it's going to be really helpful. It's going to be really great to have her around for your team.
Just like Brienne is the unofficial advisor of the dungeon.
Yeah, I think that's a hilarious team up, actually. I love it. But yeah, I think this faction is really interesting. The dynamic we have. Malcolm, did you want to say anything else about anyone here? Malcolm? Are you thinking?
I don't really have a...
Okay, so we haven't talked about Jader at all. Jader was the fan who won in Florida, and he's not a wild card. We've seen him tested in some respect. I think it's a great pick. I think it's an interesting pick. Cameron Rice, he's very involved behind the scenes. He's a great photographer and a great person, and has been around the Schmoedown for quite a long time. So it's exciting to see him. And then the real reason we love this faction, Jen Kemp. Finally, she will get a singles match. She debuted at Free For All, and I've been waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. Finally, we can have Jen Kemp have a singles match.
You talk about one of those legends of the fan leagues. Jen is one of those.
Yeah, Jen has been in the fan league since the fan leagues started, and she was one of the top dogs of the original fan leagues. She's been one of the top dogs of pretty much every fan league. And besides that, she's been in this community basically since it started. She is like an OG Schmo. If you want anyone on your faction, Jen is it. Jen's awesome. I'm so happy. I'm really excited. She finally gets a stinking match. Whenever it happens. But yeah, I think besides the fact that Janine and Matt actually could be a really good team, you also have Ken Knapsack, you have Jader, who's awesome, Cam, who's awesome, Jen, who's awesome. It's a great faction. It's just I'm not sure how the dynamic in terms of storyline. I think that's what I meant when I said the dynamic's a little weird. You've got a mix of heels and faces and unknowns. I can't see Jen being a heel, but who knows? Maybe she could be a heel. What way are they going with this? Are you going to be able to get Andrew Guy to be a baby face?
No, very much like you're not going to get Ben Bateman to be a full babyface on the Fed Stock Exchange. I think it's actually smart that he did it with the name The Usual Suspects. It's the people you don't expect.
There you go.
It's the people that you don't expect to, except for maybe Drew McQueenie and Andrew Guy and Janine. It's the people that you don't expect to win a belt. Maybe Ken, but he seems a little rusty. He might be rusty. So it's like all these kind of people that have the possibility to be big hitters. But you're not gonna go up and say, all right, well, you're gonna take on Dan Murrow and win the belt right away.
Yeah.
But it could happen.
It could.
The interesting thing about this faction is there really isn't a lot of IG in here. I mean, you got Jen, but he didn't really go for a lot of the IG players.
Is Jader planning on doing IG?
Not as I know. I think he's doing singles.
I couldn't remember if that was on the table for him or not.
See, that's the thing that's great too. He's got 2 opt-out spots. So which means he's open if he sees an IG player that's good, that's a free agent.
Yeah.
Swarm him up, because guess who's getting talked about? There's a free agent, there's a fan leaguer that's getting talked about now a lot because of what was talked about in the action industry last night. Mr. Jay Burns. He's being talked up. So if they get him in for a fan league match and then Sam sees him and he lights it up like how people are talking him up, he lights it up. And I've seen Jay play. Jay can light it up. He might get drafted.
I think Jen could do well in Inner Geekdom if she studied for it, because she's got Lord of the Rings down easily. Yeah. She's got Harry Potter down, like she's got some of the fundamentals. I don't know about, the Marvels and the DCs and all that. But she's definitely got a good foundation for it. Abe, what do you have to say?
Well, I just have a question. How is a free agency going to work?
I have no idea.
So a free agency is going to work just like how it would work in football, except they'll be able to see them play. Christian has already said that free agents have the ability to play. They'll get some matches.
Yeah.
They won't get matches right away. But what'll happen is in the order that you picked during the draft is if somebody above you. So let's say there's one other spot on the 9th round, which there wouldn't be because he's the usual suspect. He's first in that round. He gets first dib for anybody that would come around then. If you have a higher bid than somebody, that's how that's going to work.
Oh, okay.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Like when they somebody on... Okay.
Well, we still got quite a many factions. Corruption is next, not by any order, just because that's the order that I opened these images. Also, like if you haven't checked out Jacob Patrick on Twitter, he's the one who did all these cards, and he's fantastic. All these cards are just really, really good, and the fact that I have them to show is awesome. Because otherwise I would have had to take notes, and taking notes is awful. So let's talk about corruption. Besides the fact, I think Shannon Barry is going to be like the breakout star of 2020. This faction is ridiculous. Of course, Mike and Chance are on it. You also have Mark Edward Hoyk, who really, he needs a game player. I don't know that there is one.
I do know there is one. He just has to study.
Nerdchronic.
No, I'm talking about Elliot Dewberry. You get him to focus. He is a game player. He literally, yeah. I mean, look what he did.
Yeah, but he's Makuga was the one who knew the rules.
I get that, but that's why Dewberry was very like, he was the B player of that team. He was isn't it weird to say that? But he was. Makuga was the
round.
One perfect round out of every match they played.
But his accuracy was great though. His accuracy wasn't terrible.
I'm not saying that he's a bad player. I'm just saying Makuga was the one who was challenging things. He was the one that was asking for the repeats. He was the game player of the team, and I don't know if Elliot can do that.
You don't have to worry about that now. You have a manager, which means you also have Mike. You have Michael the Killer in your corner as well.
That's
so
fair.
Guess what? You're gonna have. There is no more worrying about people challenging.
There is, because the manager can be on the sidelines, but if you're not, like, say it's sudden death or something that it's really quick, your manager can't come up into the ring and be like, hey, you know, like there are things like if you're asking for a repeat, that they as the team have to ask for the repeat. The manager can't.
The manager can.
Right, but they can, but like a lot of the gameplay is between the players. Or say she can't be there that day for the filming. You have to not only rely on your manager to know the game in and out. You have to make sure there is someone on your team who can be that game player.
I get that, but I don't think that there's going to be days where the managers can't show up. And if they are, I think if there are, they're going to have substitute managers.
Probably, but I think there's easily chances where the manager can't show up. Like maybe they can be there and then something comes up or whatever. You know, there's going to be stuff. It's just real life happens.
No, I get that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying I think there'll be other people that'll sub in for them if they can't be there.
Yeah. Malcolm, what you got?
I was going to say is one thing I wish Jacob Petru did with this is put devil horns out of Shannon's head because her video after the draft with her and getting Mike to hand the Wildberry Skittles to him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Listen, we talk a lot about Andrew Guy being that next level heel.
Yeah.
She is about to take it to another level, and I'm enjoying it completely.
That's what I'm saying with her being the breakout star of the season. I think that in terms of character play, that Shannon's just going to be like the boss of the season. I think that people are not prepared, I don't think, for this. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Also, we talked about Sam having a mixture of heels and faces. On the opposite side, this team has because you got Laura, you got Dubu, who I don't know if they can truly be heels.
I think Laura can. I just think she'll be a quiet, like Bonnie Somerville. I don't see her as a heel, but she's also an actress. I think Laura could pull it off. I'd be more concerned about Elliot because he's such a dude. He's so chill. He's so chill. I just can't see him like going after anybody. Hoik is technically a heel already, so that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm interested about the teamings here because really. Are we putting Hoik with Dewberry? Is that what we're doing?
That's what I would do. I mean, that's honestly what I would do. If I was her, I would put them together because you have the opportunity to get them in a room with Mike and Chance to work on their teamwork, to work on the understanding of the game. I think she really has a lot of possibilities here of taking chances, no pun intended, at the belt.
Yeah, I mean, in multiple leagues, Laura for sure, for Star Wars, Mike for Intergeekdom, Chance also for Intergeekdom technically, both of them for singles and teams, and then you got Dewberry and Hoik, who could be a really good team potentially.
Yeah, I mean, personally with teams, I'll probably put maybe Hoik with Marisol, maybe Dewberry with Bonnie because you've got experience and people haven't really had a lot of matches. But I mean, we have to admit, Corruption is probably going to have the best promos of having Nerd Chronic in the corner.
Yeah, I made that joke on Twitter. I'm like, well, we know which faction's going to have the best cutscenes or the best promos because obviously Nerd Chronic's on it. I'm excited to see him play. I think it's going to be great. And there's no way their promos aren't like the best promos of the season. I like your idea of mixing old experienced players with some of the rookies. And I wonder if you wait to make teams until these rookies have had a chance to play. You know, maybe give Rick and Nerd Chronic and Marisol and Klee a chance to have a match, figure out what their gameplay strategy is like, figure out what strengths and weaknesses they have. And then you say, well, Marisol actually would be a very good teammate for Mark Hoik, or, Bonnie would be a very good teammate for Elliot. I think getting that first match in for some of these rookies is going to be really interesting to see where they kind of all land for teams.
Yeah, I mean, from what I know about Claire is I think she's going to be another Star Wars player. I don't know much. I know Marisol's another fan league, but I haven't really seen any of her match, so I don't.
Yeah, she's
I-
a
I-
newer she's a newer
she's the-
fan leaguer
yeah.
from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So
She impressed Christian in Florida. That's from what I've heard. She's impressed him in Florida. That's why she got on the roster.
Very nice. Yeah, because I was looking for her matches and I couldn't find very many.
She's
and I'm like,
she
must be a newer. Yeah, she must be a newer.
I
she won
think
the match, by the way.
I think she's got one over on Multiplex as well.
Yeah,
she's got
I
a
watched the
Warzone
one
match.
on Multiplex, I think.
Yeah, she's got a Warzone match, and she's got like 1 or 2 classics, but that's about it.
Okay, Rachel, we're talking about the Den. Rachel's in the chat.
Yeah, Rachel, we're talking about the Den.
For us to talk about the Den. Welcome to the SEN Live faction.
The second
Listen, the Senden. Yes, hashtag Senden.
It's the Senden. Honestly, it is. Okay, we talked about the best team of 2020 already, Paul, Preston, and Tom.
Yes.
This team could win the belt. In my brain, at the end of the year, they have the belt. And I'm sorry, John, but this is a really good team. And defending the belt is hard to do, especially against Mr. Creepy Android Man, Tom, and Paul Preston, who is hilarious. The dynamic of them together as characters, oh my God.
I want him to rebuild Tom. I want him to rebuild Tom and make a bro Tom. Let's do it, Paul. Just listen to my ideas. I swear it'll work.
Well, he just comes out with like a sweatband around his hoodie.
Upside down visor.
But on top of the hoodie. So he's still kind of coming out like this with the hoodie, but he's got like an upside down visor too. I think that's hilarious.
I mean, like, I can't remember who it was, but we talked earlier about like the characters and stuff. Because I do think that Tom might go through a little bit of change this season. Maybe not be as creepy, because that whole creepiness factor worked when he was paired with Video Drew.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to work so much paired with Paul.
You do a whole character act, because if they keep winning every single match, he becomes more of a human. Per se, and he starts learning words and
humanity by winning matches.
Yeah, and if he becomes champion, then he fully transforms into a human being.
If he wins the belts, he becomes a real boy. Yes. I just don't know if you can do a turn like that on someone who, like, people really were drawn to his kooky character. Like, I don't know that you just do a complete turn on that.
So, if we're going by numbers purely alone, Preston has a 94.74 accuracy rating in teams, and Tom has a 95. Are you kidding? They're such a good team. Such a good team.
Oh God. Yeah, it's a great team.
I've been listen, since I heard that this was gonna happen and the likelihood that it was gonna happen, I was rooting for this to happen. And it happened on the Take 3 mock draft. I was like, guys, come on. Tom, she's taking Tom here. She's taking Paul Preston second. It's happening, guys. And it happened. And then she took Ben Goddard, which I was happy about too. But
Sean Sullivan.
So Sean Sullivan is a funny story, Mr. 5 first names. He was the guy at the awards last year who Andrew Guy threw his award at. He was just a fan last year who was sitting near the stage, and Andrew Guy threw his award because he didn't he's like, I don't accept this, and he threw it, and Sean was the one who caught it, and that's how he got involved with being backstage, basically. He was just like, hey, I'm here. But he's hilarious. He's really nice. I'm excited to see him playing. He's going to be Star Wars. And he's got 5 first names, which is legitimately because he's Irish. That's why he was picked. I wish it was a joke, but I think that's legitimate. She has the connection, and she was like, "You will be on my team."
But I've seen photos of at least the ones that were at the actual draft and that together. This is probably one of the hottest, the good-looking faction.
Well, Malcolm, tell us how you're really the hottest faction.
Listen,
Let's talk about one person I think who is in the chat. So maybe I'm saying this because she's here and she's my friend. She was drafted in the 6th round. Rachel Silvestrini in the 6th round. She should have been at least 4. For me,
Like
I had her going in the 3rd round.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what happened with this. I think that Kate definitely lucked out that she lasted that long. But yeah, I just don't get how she got to the 6th round.
Yeah, I'll say it for you. It was bullshit. Bullshit. You should have went in the 3rd round. That's where you should have went. You are too good of a player not to go in the 3rd round. That you went down to 6 was ridiculous.
Yeah. I think there was a lot of surprises in terms of rookies and those kinds of players going in the earlier rounds. Some of the more seasoned veterans,
I honestly think some people overestimated other managers in terms of rookies. They thought they actually make their homework when probably most of them didn't. So they draft the rookies early.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's.
I honestly have no idea what managers are thinking sometimes. I don't know.
It's like Stacey going on the 4th.
Yeah,
that was a little insane.
I don't get it. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. Rachel says, get me on the show. I'll tell you a story. Well, Rachel,
send her the link.
Send her the link.
I'm going to. Well, Rachel, if you have a minute.
I mean, you're in our YouTube chat. You might as well just join us on the show.
Yeah. We won't send the link on YouTube, but we will send it to you on Facebook. Oh, that's not the right chat. Excuse me. My Facebook is messing up. Rachel, I'm trying. It's hosting and stuff. I'm usually much better at multitasking, but today I can't do it. I just can't do it.
Also, I say Brett being picked is
I love it. I love it.
Brett's going to win all the belts and take all the records.
I want Saul and Brett to be a team, and then all they do is just like crack jokes at the table the whole time.
You call them the sharpshooters. You call them the sharpshooters, and that's all they're there for. They will mess everybody up on the table because Brett will sit there completely quiet and then say one-liner, and everyone's gone.
I can't remember, but I think wasn't it Kai's that took Soldi and instantly drafted it to the dead?
Yeah.
He traded him,
he traded him. Which it's a great trade. I think Kate really wanted him because she just really she wants her friends on the league, obviously. I think that's really what it is. Given that she really it is the Senden.
This is the only faction where everybody's on the same page, right?
Yeah, I love it. It's like a faction of best friends.
Yeah.
It is the SDN den.
Tim, we did already talk about the Mouthy Mercs. We loved your team with
sorry to cut you off.
Haley.
We've just had a special guest pop in.
Oh. We did already talk about the Mouthy Mercs. We loved.
Hey guys, sorry, hold on one second.
Sorry to cut you off.
Having feedback. There we go.
Okay. Perfect. How's it going?
Hi. It's been a weekend, let me tell you. Yeah. So
tell us a story. What happened with the draft? Because I honestly kept waiting and waiting for you to be called and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And I was like, what the heck is going on?
So I can't say what the other managers were thinking, but I did talk to Kate after it was all over. And she was like, I'm so sorry. She showed me her paper that she had of names, and it was just scribbled on and written on, and names were crossed out, and it was crazy. And she goes, I don't know what happened. I had you on my list. I was going to draft you right after Sean. I wanted to make sure I got Sean because He's amazing. He's going to be our Star Wars guy, and he's going to give everyone in the Star Wars League a run for their money. And she goes, I had you, and then I didn't realize I hadn't drafted you. And then she got up after she drafted Diane, and I was very confused. And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I was just sitting there, and I was like, I was just joking around with everybody, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just going to sit here in the back and like drink until I hear my name get called. Ha ha ha. Which was fun until you pass round 4, and then you're like, where's the waitress?
Right. I lose.
It also was really funny that I was sitting with Janine and James White and Brandon and like a whole bunch of other competitors that we're all super close friends with. And we were all telling James, like, yeah, when we get drafted, like we're gonna let whatever manager picks us to like get you because
James was the first one.
And James was the first out of all of us, and he literally. I cannot wait until the video comes out tomorrow because I just want to see if they got a shot of his face.
Yeah.
Because when Robert Meyer Burnett just walks on stage and just goes, James White, we all start crying and laughing, and James is just like, stand up, go. This is an interview now. So that was really funny that he got drafted before all of us. And then everybody would like, it felt like that line of dodgeball at PE that like all your friends have gotten called up.
Yeah.
And you're like, I can murder at this game. Why aren't I getting picked?
Right.
And Kate said that she was like, I had you written down. And then she went up to make the pick that was going to be me. And she is standing there like eyes gazing over the crowd and just being like, okay, who hasn't been picked? And she sees me and she turns to Christian. She goes, oh my God, has nobody picked Rachel yet? And he goes, no, get her. So she like ran on stage and said my favorite line. I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's the funniest thing. And I about cried laughing at my reaction. I hope they got, which was phenomenal. But our team is so strong.
Yeah. I mean, that's, we were joking and calling it the Send Den, and it's like the team of best friends. But honestly, the camaraderie is going to be really helpful. You also have like one of the strongest IG players. You've got like the killer team of the season potentially. Ben Goddard.
Brett Cheddar.
Ben Goddard went.
I'm so excited for Brett.
Yeah,
I find it real. The late pick was tragic. You were yelled. Thank you. Oh, did you guys see my tweet?
Yes.
I was tweeting the draft.
Yeah.
And I was like trying to keep up. Mm-hmm. And then like every now and then there was a lull and like, the wannabe favorite after show was just like, doing their little spin thing. And then I was just like, hey managers, still here.
Still here, guys.
There were
quite a lot of people left kind of in the gate after the first 6 rounds that were kind of surprising. So at least you weren't left out on the big draft day.
Oh, I would have stood up at the end and been like, are you kidding me? Like I would not have remembered the rest of the night. I would have gotten blackout, angry, drunk, and it wouldn't have ended well. But it did. Oh, but you weren't in the draft, Maddie. I love you.
Sorry, you weren't in the draft.
But yeah, it was hilarious. I cannot wait until the video comes out because not only like, I mean, people know what happened, but like, we're even gonna watch. Like, my favorite part about our team though is that my entire apartment are on the same team.
That's true.
I live with Brandon Hanna and I live with Alex Marzonia.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna be studying together all the effing time. Like,
it's true. Well, and you also have a headquarters
room. We're gonna group study. Like, everybody lives super close to our place. So we've decided to change the name of the apartment to the Den.
You can just call it the Send Den. I think that I'm fine if you guys want to take that from us. That's fine.
It'll be the one that you take it from us. It would be great.
Yeah. But I absolutely love it. Every time she was naming someone else, I was just like, oh my God, this team is so funny. It's perfect. It's like the best friend brigade, and I absolutely adore it.
It is. It really is. And like, and you're not joking. We are the best looking team in the league. Like we took that photo and I was like, holy crap, when's our first single dropping? Like,
I love it. I love it.
With Alex on the team, we actually could. So who knows?
That's
Just
hey,
saying,
that's
his
true.
music's good enough.
Hey, Rachel.
He's writing our theme song.
Rachel, do you want to stick around for the last team we have, or the last faction we have to talk about? We have to talk about swag.
Oh,
We have to talk about swag. Does it have too much swag? I'm not sure. There's a lot of swag on this team. Paul and Lon, I think it's great. I'm looking forward to it because Paul started out with that preconception that he was really like stuck up, basically, and then he moved away from it. And Lon's whole character is that he's stuck up, so it's really kind of funny.
I would love it if they put a spin on it and like Paul was trying to teach Lon how to be humble.
Yes,
that would be great.
That would be hilarious. I think it would do wonders for like the character work for both of them. I think it would be just so great, and just like Lon trying to teach Paul things, and then like Paul being like, actually, that's not true.
It's too bad Chandru doesn't do singles or teams, because you could have the dancing team of Chandru and Josh Makuga.
No, I would. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm so excited that Josh got drafted, and I might still get to play him. But yeah, no, Josh on swag just makes so much sense.
Oh, for sure.
Like,
there's no one in here that I'm just like, I don't get it. Like Liz Shannon Miller, does she fit the swag thing? Not yet. Not yet.
I think she will.
She will. Absolutely, she will. She's got it in her. I want to hear everyone else's thoughts on this faction. So, Malcolm, what do you think about swag? Is there too much swag, not enough swag, or just the right amount?
I don't know if you can ever have too much swag, but yeah, this is probably the interesting bunch of people here, because I mean, like if they ever did IG teams, then Chandru, I think Debbie is also IG. I'm not too. I don't remember.
He's singles. He played Lee's singles.
Yeah, he played
in his first match.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But this is an interesting thing, because you've got RB3 and Ace, which you can put as a team and get like, because they've got the camaraderie, because they've got podcast. But I think Demi and Josh might make a great team potentially.
I kind of don't want this to be a team, but at the same time, like, I would think it would be so funny to have Josh Makuga and Liz Shannon Miller be on a team, because she's so reserved and Josh is so crazy that the dynamic of the two would just be really funny.
You just want all the chaotic teams there.
Yeah, I want everything to be chaotic. Who do you want to be together?
I want Josh and Hlavik to be together.
I think that would be
Adam would be hilarious. They're both like kind of that high energy. Like Adam has like this sneaky high energy to him, because he always comes out. He's always a little bit cool. He's like just kind of like bubbling under the surface. And I think that Josh and him would make such a great team. I would love to see Josh and Adam play against Tom and Paul.
Oh my God.
I think that would be super entertaining and like sneaky high scores.
Sure.
Like the first match for both of them, that'd be
first round. It's fine.
I don't know that Paul and Tom's first match has to be against a really good team.
They could be a really good team, though. Josh and Adam could be a
They could be. They could be. Josh is such a wild card. No pun intended.
Liar.
All the puns intended.
All the puns intended. He is such a wild card, because there are some matches where obviously he's beaten people like Clark Wolf, and then there's others where it's just like, what are you doing? What is happening?
Yeah.
But then Josh Makuga in a nutshell, though. It's
true.
There's days that he comes in and he's super, he's the straight man, and there's days that he comes in and he's the wild man. It's just, which one are you getting today?
But it doesn't even matter if he's mild or wild. You don't know when the Makuga luck is going to kick in.
It's true. The luckiest man in the Schmoedown. Yeah, I think anyone paired up with Josh Makuga is a funny a funny pairing, because he makes every team funny.
I think the only person that they could never pair him up with is RB3, and let me tell you why. They wouldn't get past the first round. because they would just be cracking jokes and laughing. And once RB3 gets laughing, Josh will start laughing.
And then
everybody
everyone,
like no one's going to be able to concentrate. Like Ellis will have to turn on into Dad Ellis, and we'll all get yelled at. But then RB3 will start giggling, and then it'll all be over. It's like a 3-hour match.
But see, that's why I want Brett and Saul together and call them the sharpshooters. I'm just saying.
I love it.
It would literally be.
Oh, yeah. I adore Saul. I am so like as soon as Kaiser came up and said Saul, I was like, damn it. And then we got him in a trade, and I was like, perfect. This works out beautifully.
It was a genius trade, honestly, because I knew that Kate wanted Saul. I knew it.
Yeah, it was super beneficial.
Yeah. But yeah, I love this. Abe, you haven't given your thoughts on swag.
Yes.
Please
I think
share with us about
like,
the swag.
The potential team of Paul and Lon, that's a team I think we were talking about Ethan and Janine or any whoever Ethan was gonna be paired up already forgot. That someone that knows the game, that's Paul. With James White.
Yeah.
Someone that knows the game, which is a fun. I think that's Paul and Lon. Lon doesn't study, like he told you in the interview we had with him last year or 2 years ago. I don't remember that he doesn't really study. So I think that's an interesting. I honestly think Adam and Liz will be a good team. I think people slept on Liz in the 5th round.
Yeah, I loved Liz.
She went 3-0. Then she went 3-1 against Paul, who went to win the championship. Then against.
Yeah, she's great. She just hasn't. I don't think she's really like come out of her shell yet and like really embraced what the Schmoedown is.
She's very.
I see what's happening this year. She's great. She's so sweet and so nice.
And I think she's very much like Ethan Irwin in his first season.
And I think she lost to Bayman in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think she put the most respectable match against Bayman in the tournament. So I think she's a threat. I think people underestimate
I think she's a great pick. I honestly think that she's going to be a great player this year. I cannot wait to see her play some more because once she gets that guidance, I think she's gonna be fantastic. I'm really excited. I think that a Liz and Rachel match would be really cool.
Oh, that would be so much fun.
Yeah, I think that would be.
Did you guys say who you wanted me to team up with, or did I miss that?
We said.
You said Ben Goddard.
Yeah, I thought you and Ben would be really fun.
Oh, I think that we would be hilarious.
Yeah, I think
somebody said pairing Ben up with Alex. We could have
with
the
bagel chips. Ben said it on Twitter. I was like, I'm down for that.
As soon as I got said, I was like, if you guys bring bagel chips over as snacks for study meets, I'm going to throw you out of my apartment. Like,
but if they do, you have to tweet about it.
We were actually joking about like taking a picture of like the first time that we all get together and just like having bags of chips just everywhere and then like a big platter full of bagels and being like, this is what the donut exists on. We've been talking already. We've been coming up with a few things.
Listen, you guys are I have a feeling going to give the dungeon a run for their money when it comes to like the funny spectacles. Let's be honest.
I just can't wait for the promos. Like the first promo between the den and the dungeon, just because if it's me, I'm literally just gonna step back and let Kate go.
Yes.
Because that woman is pure gold. I am so excited that she is my manager. We've been texting as soon as I found out that they had started the draft yesterday. We were on the phone together. We were chatting. Like she's amazing. She's in it to win it. And I'm so excited. And she keeps everything super light and fun, which is like really great. She's focused, but she's still like we were having each other stitches yesterday. So.
I have one question for you, and I think some of this might be answered when we actually get to watch the draft. But what is the dynamic going to be like with Grace and Kate co-managing?
I think it's going to be like this really fantastic. Like, I think the Den is the perfect name for it because Lion Prides are basically run by women. So we've got Grace, who is the original lioness. We've got Kate, who is a mama lion. And then you've got me, which is just like, I mean, you guys know me. I'm just loud and in your face and will protect my babies till my last dying breath. So like, with that in mind, if you guys pay attention to the Twitter, things have already started.
Yes.
We've already started a little feud.
I know.
Apparently, if you watched
Yeah.
SEN Live today, we've already gotten, I think Christian basically confirmed a match between
You guys and Swag.
and Goddard and between us and Swag, between RB3 and Goddard.
Yeah.
Which is going to be so much fun.
It's gonna
I'm
be
so
great.
excited for that match.
I am
so
too.
excited for that match.
Like, honestly, the fact that I'm a part of a team this year, like, I don't even need to play as much as I wanted to last year. Like, I'm just going to be there for my team no matter what. Like, it's going to be so much fun. But, I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to play. Because
Well,
Yeah,
yeah.
because you're my vote for comeback player of the year. You better play. I'm just saying.
no one can have – no. Oh, my God. I sat down. I can't remember who I was talking to. But afterwards, we all went out, obviously, for food because – the kitchen wasn't open at the Comedy Store, which was a huge oversight because we were all like, oh, 2-drink minimum. Wait, what? There's no food? There's 4 more hours left. Okay, cool. But I was talking to somebody about how I'm like, yeah, it doesn't matter what happens next year. I've got comeback player in the bag. And they're like, no. Oh, it was Kalinowski. He's like, no, I lost belts. I'm like, honey, I was like 1-6 last season. Like, no one had a worse season than I did statistically. I'm like, even if I win like 3 matches next year, done. I'm in.
Yeah, I think honestly you are gonna have a really great season this year because I know your drive and I know that you're in it. You want this year, so I'm looking forward to it. Before we end the show, I want everyone to go and say what their favorite faction is. Rachel, what's your favorite faction?
The Den, obviously.
Obviously. Abe, which faction are you picking this year?
No pressure.
I think it's a 50-50 with the usual suspect and the Fin's exchange, but I'm gonna go with the usual suspects because I think Loving Leadership are gonna take them. Like,
fair. What about you, Malcolm?
Purely because of all the personalities on there, I'm actually saying the Den.
There you go. What about you, Doug?
I'm an SEN shield, so they've got 2 of my favorite personalities from SEN on there. So the Den.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the non-pandering person and say I think this year is gonna be a great battle and it's gonna be a great faction war in general. But I think that so far, if you're going just by paper, you got a great faction war between the Mouthy Mercs and Finstock Exchange.
I mean, well, yeah. Finstock's going to have a great rivalry with everyone. Like
he is. Yeah.
We were looking at the teams today, and it was just like, how do you not get excited by looking at what these teams are? Like, yeah, it's just going to be a bloody brawl.
I mean, we said earlier, Finstock Exchange has the opportunity to have 3 all-star teams, and that's crazy.
They do. Yeah. But what happens to their rookies? Like,
we also said they have the opportunity to implode within the first 2 months. So
they only have 2
that.
Rookies.
I mean, they already are, and the season hasn't even started yet. So.
But yeah, so Rachel's getting redemption against Roka. Hey.
I want that rematch. I want my rubber match.
Do it. I'm into it.
I do.
I think Roka needs to get back into singles anyway. So,
yeah. I mean, he's super happy right now with his team's belt. So,
yeah. Well, and he wants to break into Star Wars or whatever.
Star Wars, I'm just saying.
Right.
He's ranked like number 3, so.
Yeah. So, yeah, let's hit it. Let's do our whatever things, plugs, and then we can hit the road. Thanks for joining us, Rachel. Where can we find you? It was a big surprise. Literally
meant like have me on later, not now, but
no, right now. If any Schmoedown people want to be on our show, just jump in the comments and be like, hey, can I come on? We'll be like, why not? We don't care. Do what you want.
Eating dinner. Like, I had to stop and I was like, I need to go wash my face off real quick. I'll be right back.
I'm so sorry. Thank you for jumping on anyway. We would have you on anytime, honestly. So I'm glad that you did join us. But yeah, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at RM Silvestrini. Join the Den on Facebook, and the Den Twitter is the Den MTS. come join us and hang out. And if anybody is trying to add me on Facebook, I'm so sorry. It's kind of a private account. I am super active on all of the group pages. But join my Twitter, follow me on Instagram, and it'll be all fun.
Yeah. The Den Twitter is going to be really funny this year. I'm already calling it. They're going to be
Jill and I are running it, so it's going to be brutal.
There are a couple of the faction Twitters going on right now, and I think the Den is going to be the one that comes out on top. Abe, where can we find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at AbrahamF25. You can watch Gone with the Wind, where we cover the Oscar season. We've been releasing episodes every Sunday. And you can follow me on Instagram on AbrahamFlores25. And if you add me on Facebook, please don't do it if I don't know you, because I don't care about your life and you shouldn't care about my life either.
I've missed Abe and his no-nonsense attitude. Malcolm, how many shows are you plugging today, friend?
You can find me hosting Rankum every Saturday nights now. This week's episode is going to be Top 12 Will Smith movies. You'll also find me hosting Formula Random. And yeah, I'm all over the fan leagues.
Perfect. Hey, your plugs have really dwindled, and it's a little sad. It's a little sad. Maybe add another show in there, Malcolm. What about you, Doug? You got anything coming up?
Yeah, I'm very excited. We rebranded Bloody Manor. It's now not an all horror show. It's actually an all every type of movie show. We have our best of 2019 coming out this Sunday. I'm excited for it. I have 5 panelists, but I'm hoping to get some other people soon. There's a person here I'm hoping to get for a special version of the show. We also absolutely you can be on any show. I'm just saying. We also have Transvail, which is an online video D&D play watch along. It's a lot of fun. And then follow me on Twitter at Douglas_Castle.
Yeah, and you can find me, Smith_K10, the number, not the word, Twitter, Instagram, and Stardust, even though I don't post anything on Stardust. You can also find me hosting the show that you've watched for 2 hours. If you don't know what it is, I don't know what you do with your life. Also, we have a new show coming out soon. Me and Matt Kearns will be announcing soon, hopefully, if we actually film it when we think we're going to film it. And my life is something else right now.
If you send me the picture I asked you for.
No, I worked from 8 p.m. until 5 p.m. So I worked yesterday until today.
Maybe.
No one wants a picture of me, right?
Just a silhouette.
This was like an hour worth of coffee. I'm so tired. Yeah, today's great. Today is going just swell, guys. Thanks for watching the summit. We had a great time. Thanks for Matt Kearns for being on it for his last show, even though it's not show 100 like he planned, but it's fine. We don't plan anything on the summit. It's half the joy of the summit. Thanks for watching, guys. We hope you guys all have a great week. Make sure you watch those Schmoedown things. Both the awards and drafts are coming out tomorrow. We'll talk to you guys all later. Bye-bye. And then it takes